Jasper, a Persian cat the color of a thundercloud and with the disposition of one, believed the universe was a meticulously run catering service for his pleasure. His funniest joke was staring at a wall as if witnessing a spectral opera, just to watch his humans photograph it. Penelope, meanwhile, was a calico artist of the streets. Her fur was a patchwork of alley cat encounters, and her wit was sharp as a tuna can lid. She saw the world not as a service, but as a grand, absurd theater. A plastic bag in the wind wasn't litter. Their worlds collided on a Tuesday of profound ennui for Jasper. The food tasted like Monday, and his human was late with the wet food. In a fit of dramatic protest, he exploited an open door and flopped onto the porch, expecting a slightly larger, grass-scented version of his living room. A squirrel chittered at him with the fury of a tiny caffeinated landlord. His attempt to stalk a butterfly ended with him tripping over his own paws and emerging from a dandelion with a yellow powdered nose. From her perch on a fence, Penelope watched this masterpiece of fluffy incompetence. She called, her voice a gravelly purr. Jasper sneezed a cloud of pollen. "I'm on an unscheduled sabbatical." "Right, and I'm just a collector of fine dirt." "You look like you've never missed a meal or had to argue with a crow over half a hot dog." Over the next few hours, Penelope became Jasper's unwilling and very amused tour guide. She showed him how to drink from a puddle without getting his whiskers wet, a maneuver he failed spectacularly. She demonstrated the art of the pathetic meow, a foolproof method for charming scraps from the local cafe. Jasper's attempt sounded less like a plea for food and more like a complaint to a manager. Their comedic journey peaked when they attempted a raid on a dropped grocery bag. Penelope was a shadow, swift and silent. Jasper moved with the grace of a falling armchair, getting tangled in a plastic bag of kale and rolling down a small grassy incline, emerging at the bottom looking like a defeated salad. Penelope was laughing so hard she nearly fell over. But as she looked at the kale-adorned, utterly bewildered Jasper, a strange warmth spread through her. For all his pampered uselessness, he was genuine. He faced the world with a wide-eyed horror that was, in its own way, endearing. For Jasper, the world was no longer a boring, predictable routine. It was terrifying, yes, but also vibrant. He watched Penelope chase her own tail with joyful abandon, and saw a happiness that didn't come from a can. The thrill of hunting a discarded French fry was far more satisfying than having kibble simply appear. As dusk fell, Jasper felt a pang of longing for his sunbeam rug. "I think my sabbatical is over," he said, looking towards his house. "The five-star hotel has its perks." "I'm always around," she said with a shrug. "Usually wherever the day is most ridiculous." Jasper went home. His human scooped him up with a cry of relief, oblivious to their cat's grand adventure. But something in Jasper had changed. The next morning he nudged the back door, meowing insistently. His human, confused, placed a small bowl of his fancy wet food by the steps. A few minutes later, from the window, Jasper watched as a familiar calico cat leaped down, cautiously approached the bowl and took a bite. She looked up at the window and Jasper could have sworn she gave him a wink. He realized the world wasn't just a service for him, nor was it a chaotic theater for her. It was a place big enough for both. And the funniest thing of all, he thought as he settled into his sunbeam, was that a pampered puffball and a streetwise artist could find a way to share it. The thump-thump-thump of his human's heart no longer sounded like applause just for him. It sounded like a steady, welcoming beat for a friend.